Hey everybody, and welcome back to Season 2, Episode 1 of Video Game Esoterica. On today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at the Lost Golem, released in 2000 by a company called Caramelpot. This was their first and last game ever released. Interestingly enough, it's apparently one of the rare Dreamcast games with under 500 copies sold. Yet somehow you can still buy this game on eBay today for under $100, so the rarity doesn't exactly translate to expense, much like any other game where rarer means more expensive. So the intro is in Japanese, and I do have a translation, although it is in some English. But the overall gist of the game is that there's two kingdoms, and one day one of the kingdoms made a golem out of mud and stone. Kind of goes to the old Jewish theme of creating a golem. But these two kingdoms ended up having a war at some point in time, and the overall point of the game is that you're leading the king of one kingdom through puzzles. There's 100 stages, and they're kind of set up as maze-like stages where you have to actually guide the king in certain directions based on how you set the pieces of the puzzle up. That's kind of the overall gist of the story. It's really limited, but we're going to get into some gameplay right now and take a look at it. So this is the Lost Golem. The goal of the game is that you want to get the king to the door. But additionally, if you look in the upper left-hand corner, you'll see a 1 of 1 indicator. You need to put the pieces in the right positions to both lead the king to the door as well as to complete the puzzle. So there's actually two puzzles in one. The first getting the king out of the stage, and the second placing the pieces in the right order so that you complete all the different actions. You'll see here that the king's at the door. I kind of forgot you do have to actually open the door to let him out. But that is stage 1. Obviously, that's very easy. I was just kind of showing you the overall goal, which is get the king to the door. There's 100 stages in the game. I've never beaten this. Honestly, I've gotten to like stage 32 and become very frustrated. All the puzzles are fair, but they are quite difficult. So now we're looking at stage 2, and you're going to see that right now it says 1 of 2 in the upper left-hand corner. That means that the puzzle itself is not complete. So even if we do get the king to the door, the stage would not be over until that is 2 of 2. So you're going to see here, I'm going to let the king out of the door, and I'm actually going to fail the stage. That wasn't inadvertent. I did that intentionally just to show you guys what happens if you don't complete the puzzle. The golem destroys one wall remains, therefore you actually don't pass the stage. So you're going to see me do it a second time. I'll just let you guys watch it. And then I'll come back with some more commentary for the other stages. Alright, so here we are in stage 3, and you see that the puzzle's already technically completed. We are of 2 puzzle pieces, but if we don't move something, the king actually won't be able to get to the door. When the king hits a wall, he'll either turn left or right 90 degrees. So by pushing that wall down, we're going to make the king turn left because he can't turn right. That's the end of the stage. The king will always turn in the direction that he's able to travel. Kind of sped it up here. You get the idea. Takes the king a while to get to the door, but that is kind of one of the mechanics of the game as to where the king will only turn in a direction he's able to travel. If you can travel in more than one direction, he kind of just does something at random, so the puzzles do have some sort of random element to them as well. So here you have 3 different pieces you need to get in line, and you need to be able to get the king to the door as well. You'll see when he hit that wall, he turned left. Sometimes he'll turn right. I think it's probably just a programming error. This was Caramelpot's first and only game, so we kind of just have to assume that maybe that's a little bit of a mistake. But we've completed 3 of 3, and the king will escape. As far as the game's concerned, it's super fun. The graphics are clearly quite crude, but that kind of gives some overall charm to it. One of the best parts of the game is actually the music. I am going to probably mangle the composer's name, but he was Yasunori Murakita. He was apparently a master's degree student. Caramelpot worked as a team of students at a college, Kyushu University. Once again, maybe I got that wrong. I hope I didn't. But the music in this game is outstanding. It has like a sort of whimsical theme to it, really piano and string heavy. So as far as the music's concerned, it really is great. So you'll see here, every 5 to 10 stages, you get a little bit more of the story. I do not have a translation for this, so I have absolutely no idea what's going on, so I'll just let you guys watch it and decide what you think it is. All right, and we're back. You got a chance to check out the lamb in the red leisure suit. Well, I failed that stage very quickly. You can break walls if you push them in the wrong direction. Really not sure what's going on with that lamb. If he's a butler or something. He's pretty entertaining to look at. But there you go. You'll see that I got all 3 pieces lined up. And when the king hits the wall here, he's going to take a left and we're going to complete the puzzle. I did speed parts of this up just because it takes the king, like I said earlier, forever to get to the end of the stage. As far as the story goes, I'm not even sure if there's any playthroughs on YouTube of the entire game. I've never actually looked to see if anyone's completed it. I've had this game probably for 11 or 12 years now. I read about it in a list of rare Dreamcast games, and I went on eBay to take a look and see if I could find it. Shockingly, I found it, I think, for $9.95, like kind of $10, shipping somewhere from the US. Came complete with the spine card, so I was super happy to get that. I did just take a look at eBay while I was recording this, and there's actually one copy available right now for $65 plus shipping. So if that's still available and anybody's watching this, I highly recommend you go out and buy this. It's only getting rarer. This is a very poorly selling game just because it was out towards the end of the Dreamcast life, and it really isn't, a very complex game, so it didn't sell a ton of copies. King's so happy when he gets out of the door. I'd love to know what happens to him. One day I do actually need to beat this game. Sped it up again. The jingle's actually kind of more fun as you speed it up. And here we are. This is the last stage that I completed. This is stage 13, and you're going to get a little bit more story elements going on in here. But that's basically it. That's the Lost Golem, released in 2000 for the Dreamcast by Caramelpot. It was their only game. I need to do a little more research to see what ended up happening to these guys. I'd love to know where they ended up in their career and what sort of other games they made, because even though apparently, based on interviews, the developers weren't exactly happy with how the game turned out, I think they don't give themselves as much credit as they deserve, because it's a super charming puzzle game with some elements that I actually haven't seen in other games. And for that alone, with the music, with the art style, it is super fun to play. So go ahead and check out the last cinematic, and I'll let some of the music play in the end. As far as the title screen is concerned, it's probably the best piece of music the game has to offer. But thanks so much for watching. We hope you guys enjoy Season 2 as much as you did Season 1 on the 3DO M2. Please hit the thumbs up and subscribe button below. We have a lot more content coming up in the weeks to come, but we thank you so much for watching this. You can catch us at Instagram at Chicago Game Collector. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below and I'll do my best to answer each and every one of them. But thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next week for the second episode. Bye-bye.